Hi guys, new day of war and new update. First, I must again mention the recent tragedies that took place in the city of Dnipro. Let me remind you that a Russian missile hit an apartment building and destroyed half of it. As of today, the bodies of 30 victims have been removed from the rubble. About 40 people are still missing. However, with each passing hour, the chance of finding survivors under the rubble, which is still being dismantled, is decreasing. I would like to show you a video from one of the families who lived in the building. In the photo below you can see what the kitchen, where they celebrated a recent birthday, looks like now. The mother and daughters were outside during the strike, but the father went up to the apartment and died. Ukrainian researchers have already published the data of 44 Russians who are believed to be involved in the missile strike in Dnipro. This list includes both pilots and commanders who gave criminal orders. More and more often in the Ukrainian community we hear talks and calls about the repeat of Israeli history, when after the Second World War, Israeli intelligence tracked down and eliminated German war criminals who escaped from the investigation, and to the events from the front. Cold weather and frozen river allowed Russian troops to capture the village of Vodiane, 6 miles from Donetsk. In general, there have been very minimal changes in this direction for all 11 months of the war, as both sides have built very strong defensive lines since 2014, when Russia first attacked Ukraine. Wagner's troops continue to attack west of Soledar, advancing several hundred meters a day. Ukrainian troops have withdrawn across the river and are pumping artillery attacks on the enemy who occupied the town. Russia is bringing in its regular troops and mercenaries from the Wagner Group to develop an offensive on Vesele, Rozdolivka and Krasnopolivka. The larger plan of this offensive is to make a breakthrough to the Siversky Donetsk River and either surround Ukrainian troops in the region or force them to withdraw. Russian attacks also continue near the outskirts of Bakhmut, where Russian troops occupied Forest Landing and approached the residential building of the city from the northeastern side. It is worth noting that to the south, Russian mercenaries have been spotted on the outskirts of the city since the beginning of January, but have not been able to make any significant progress in this direction since then. Fierce fighting over the last day took place near the village of Kryshchiivka, south of Bakhmut. Few Russian troops keep trying to cut one of the two main supply roads. According to the Ukrainian side, every day Russia loses several hundred soldiers in this area of the front. And the current goal of Ukrainian military leadership is to maximally deplete the attack potential of the Russian army, which has grown significantly after the autumn mobilization. In general, the story is very similar to the one that took place in the May last year, when the Russian army was bogged down in heavy battles in Severodonetsk and Lysychansk, after which its offensive momentum dropped to almost zero. 4 months after that, Ukraine launched a counteroffensive in Kharkiv and Kherson regions. Now, the Ukrainian leadership expects to exhaust the Russian army in the battles for Soledar and Bakhmut, and meanwhile wait for the delivery of the announced heavy weapons to be able to launch a new counteroffensive in the spring. Whether these plans will be realized will depend on the current speed of the Russian army's advance, the speed in which Western countries will transfer weapons to Ukraine, and the possible risk of new large-scale mobilization in Russia. That's all for today. At the end, I want to show you a video of a sniper of the Ukrainian battalion of Chechen volunteers of the outskirts of Bakhmut. I also remind you that more videos can be seen in the Telegram channel, the link to which is below this video. And if you want to support this channel, the link to Patreon is in the description. Live in peace.
Есть? Аллаху Акбар. Второй есть.
Минус 2, братан.
Минус 2?
Да.
Минус 2.
Братан.
Снимаемся. Минус 2. РПГ, РПГ, Водос. Уходим.